Great first day, ton of energy as you would anticipate. We need to keep that energy up as we go through training camp. Obviously not in shoulder pads, so a lot of fundamental work, some group work as well, and then a little bit of teamwork. But overall pleased with it, and we'll open it up for questions.
Questions? We'll start in the back of
Hey, Coach, how do you measure success for the first day of fall camp?
Part of it coming out healthy. We're intentional, and just the positions that we're putting our guys in early in training camp. I think that's important for the long haul. Also, just fundamental, great fundamental work, and where we start. You're looking backwards, and where you finish training camp. Have we continued to grow and make strides over the course of the summer? And feel like we've done that. Obviously, going back and watch the tape will tell a whole lot more. And then your young guys, how quickly are they transitioning into what you're doing based on what we did in the summer? So those are things that you get done with practice, you'll be able to tell.
Against up front here.
Can you talk about Emmanuel Koye and starting him out at tight end and just what kind of athlete and player he is?
Yeah, was a great basketball player too. Got a chance to watch some of the footage, his athletic traits, being able to watch his hands a little bit on the basketball court too, and felt like that would transition over. Length, athleticism, that's why we started him at the position that we did. He's got a long, great football journey ahead of him. Today was day one for him on the field. You think about where he was 12 months ago and where he's at today. Man, it's a drastic difference in the competition and everything that he's facing. Excited about him because he's urgent, he cares, he continues to grow from day to day and rep to rep. But it's a long process here as we begin this journey with him.
Nathan Robinson and David Hobbs, they didn't go through spring, but they were obviously around. What do you think they learned just being able to watch how practice goes and that type of thing to put them maybe a touch ahead of those guys that arrived in June?
Well, I think as much as anything for them, they get a lot of it outside of, truly being the guy doing the rep. They get all the installs. They have a great understanding of our defense. Right, they understand the fundamentals and technique that we're talking about. They've continued to have an opportunity to grow a little bit more during the course of the summer than they did spring ball that way. But at the same time, they're much further ahead than a guy that this is the first day that they've ever been on the practice field with our football team. They understand the flow, they understand the expectations, and now it's about going out there, doing a lot of things right, probably making a bunch of mistakes too. Just don't make the same mistake twice and continue to grow as a football player really, really quickly.
When we talked to Squirrel yesterday, it seems like he's sort of coming out of his shell a little bit. His person.
Sort of, or a whole lot?
A lot.
Yeah.
What have you seen the changes in him as he's grown off the field over the past year, and what do you think he's done on the field to maybe get adjusted to the college game?
Well, I think it's for you guys a glimpse into his true and real personality. Initially getting here. Being in a different environment, new people, and being in, at this level of college football. He was very intentional on how he worked and competed, but I think at times you didn't see maybe his true personality. We've seen it inside the building for a lot longer than you all have because we interact with him every single day. I just feel like, the back third of last season, we got a chance to see a little bit more of it, and certainly since we've been back this entire offseason, you've gotten to see a true sense of, who he is and what he's about outside of just lining up and playing football at a really high level. He cares, he's really engaging, he likes to have fun. He comes out with a great energy every single day, competes really hard. And, today was really good, but, that's who he is. That's how he competes every day.
A couple things, Josh. You talked a lot about the competition with this team. Could you even sense that on the first day, even in helmets, guys running around? Could you sense the competition on the team? And going back to Hobbs, what do you think he can sort of bring your defensive line?
Not just today on the field, seeing the competition and feeling it, but it's driven guys in the summer too. And, that's in how they're preparing their bodies, but also in the meeting room when we get a chance to spend a little bit of time with them or out on the grass. There is a heightened sense of competitiveness because, there's other guys in the building that look like them, have the athletic traits that they do too. And so we felt that all off season, felt that today too. Just, I think it was Austin yesterday, mentioned something about some of you guys playing linebacker for us. Our first year here, you go ones, you go twos, you go next guy's up threes. Man, there's real players at all levels right there that we certainly didn't have early in my tenure here.
Mincy and Crawford obviously split time kind of all last year at left tackle. Would you like to have your 2 tackles set by the opener?
The reality is we're going to need all those guys to play. That's been proven over time everywhere that I've been and since I've been here too. At the end of the day, this is the time of year where you got to let the competition unfold. Guys that are consistent and are playing at a high level and doing all those things at a championship level are the guys that you got to find a role with. We'll see where that ends up by the end of training camp.
I imagine today, Josh, that a lot of it was about kind of retaining what you all worked on in the spring and over the course of the summer. Do you feel like today was pretty clean from that sense of retaining information?
Yeah, you reset. As you go through spring, you continue to add to your installs. You do some of that in the summer. You get back here, now it's going to come faster than it did in spring ball just because you're practicing back-to-back days, but you are resetting to the beginnings of who you are structurally in all 3 phases. That's also why, guys reset and they grow, and my expectations were when we got out there that they were dramatically different players than they were when we finished spring ball, in particular our young guys. I think the guys that have been inside of our program, that's, freshmen as well. I thought today you could see them retain, but execute at a higher level, better fundamentally. I thought that offensively, defensively, in our individual work and some of our group work, and then special teams as well today. So, without going back and watching the tape yet, pleased with where those guys are. The new guys inside of our program, you got to understand it's the first day for them, right? And, there's a lot of things that those guys got to clean up for us to practice the way that we want to. But all in all, pretty pleased.
Josh back here. Kelsey Pope seems to have a tight-knit relationship with all his wide receivers.